Hello everyone. It's Sunday, so that means we're streaming. I'm Money Black Mage. We're playing more Control. How's everybody tonight? If you're in the States, like I am, happy Thanksgiving week. Can't believe it's Thanksgiving week already. I love any holiday that promotes good vibes, like, family, gratitude, sharing. We could certainly use a lot more of that around. But, man, what it also comes with is now my week, like many of yours. Hey, Theodore. Hey, Umbra, Frostbite. I almost want to say Theo, like in the recent recapitation, because I wrote that original script saying Theodore the entire time, Theodore to Cobb, but I got tired of saying Theodore, so I just said Theo. And I could get away with it because one of the characters, Janine, she calls him Theo. So I'm like, all right, they say Theo in the game, I'm saying Theo. Because saying Theo, he calls himself Theodore. He doesn't call himself Theo or T or Teddy or anything like that. So I just wanted to go with the shortest, most inconvenient way of saying that name. But yeah, like the latter half of my week is also going to be staggered with family and all that. Because the good news for me is I don't really have to travel. Part of the reason why I moved to this state is because my family is so close by and nobody there's sick and we're both healthily quarantined and I visit them regularly, so it's not like we're putting anybody at a hazard. And what that does mean is that I need to get my butt in gear and finish up Nier sooner rather than later. I can't guarantee this weekend that Nier will be out because I am probably going to be occupied the latter half of this week. Understandably so. I think some of you guys are also going to be understandably occupied, so keep that in mind. This Friday, don't feel like you have to kill people while you're killing people during Black Friday. If you are doing so in person, which I don't ever recommend. This year, of course not, but especially not on a normal year. Don't do that. Kill people online. Don't kill people in real life. Don't take that out of context. This has already been demonetized. But what was I doing in this room? Anyway. Alright, so we need to unlock that. That has a spotlight, but we need to move the train. And the train controls were there, but they need power. Is anyone else traveling? I know there's some states that have travel restrictions. Like my grandmother is going to be traveling from New York here after the holidays, but I think New York is on a lockdown. I want to move that a smidgen to the left. Oh, that's too far. Actually, I think that's practically spot on. Just a smidgen to the left. Alright, that might be too much, but we'll see. Thanks, Theo. I appreciate the kind words. Frostbite is a cool name. It's a cool engine when it works. Oh, that was spot on. Perfect. Hey, Shadows. Glad you can make it. Shadows. Shelly is Umbra, by the way. But, let's see. Yeah, I hope everyone has good plans. If Nier comes out in the beginning of December, don't hate me. Nier also is kind of reminding me, I actually need to watch my original Nier recap, because one of the things I did with Nier recap the original Nier. I guess you should say Nier Gestalt now, because they're putting out Nier Replicant, I think, in July. One of the things I actually kind of, I don't want to say regret. Regret's a strong word, but if I could do it over again, one thing I would do differently is I would not have ignored the Gestalt report lore as much as I did, because it wasn't directly tied to the story, but at the same time it kind of is. And because Automata deals a lot in the lore, and the lore does tie directly into the story a lot, I kind of feel retroactively, oh man, I really should have covered more of the establishing lore. So, I felt I could have done better. That was perfect. So, at the same time, dipping into lore is something I never like to do. I never like dipping too much into lore. Lore is a distraction from the storytelling in a lot of cases, because you'll end up talking forever about characters that don't matter, or events that don't impact anything. Yes, they develop the world and they develop characters, and some of it's interesting, but not a lot of it has to do with the story itself. Sometimes you can tell a lot of the story and not really talk too much about the lore, which I end up doing more often than not. Actually, hold on. We were in the middle of a side quest, weren't we? We had side quests to do. Yeah, here we go. Find and interact with the arcade machine altered item. It's in active investigations. Okay. We're right next to a save point. We can just do this. Alright, active investigations. But yeah, Thanksgiving activities, and I'll probably be away from my computer for those couple of days. I'll just be camping over at my parents' spare room for a base. So I'm gonna be away from my computer for most of this week. So that's why I'm like, ooh, I can't guarantee that I'll have Nier Automata done by the end of this month. I think which is what, Monday? I think Monday is the end of the month. Yeah, it is. The 30th is the end of the month. I don't like crunching, but I may have to. Alright, so somewhere in here there's arcade machines. Oh, there they are. I also may be sneaky and sneak in some of the lore from Nier that matters in Automata. Automatopoeia. I think what I also want to do is I want to say Automata and Automata at the same, not the same time, literally, but in the same review. I can't call it a review, in the same recap. It's not a review. Crowd control and deadline. Shoo. The goal is to survive. Alright, well if it's... Alright, if it's survive and it's wave defense, we're gonna be possessing people left, right, and center. I might just play this for a little bit. I mean, this is a side quest. Because the more I have of them spreading around attacking each other, better for me. After all, it's nice to have a wave defense mode where you turn the wave into your allies. Nier Automata also, when I say review because I'm also in the middle of writing the Yukata course. Oh, you can't possess all of them. Oh, I can only possess a maximum of 3 people, I guess. That's cool. Go, my minions. What's cool is that when my minions die, they just drop health. Are they all gonna spawn out of here? I wanna get this guy because he has armor. There we go. These guys do hit pretty hard though. Okay, these guys are playing a lot. But yeah, Nier Automata is very good for a lot of reasons. The storytelling, the gameplay, the messaging. There are things I can criticize about it, true. But the flaws it has are very small. Flying guys are always very useful. I love the destruction physics in this game. It's just so damn good. But, yeah. It's one of those where it's one of those very few games I'm willing to give like an A to. I know I'm very scathing. Hey Chenzen, how's it going? I'm very scathing in almost everything I review. But I think it's because I like to hold things to a very high standard. I don't think that's unfair. Oh. I see you, Sniper Dan. Ooh, I definitely want Big Boy. There we go. Now we got a big boy on our side. Big guy. Do a little bit more than this. I feel like I'm doing the work here, but I'd rather have him with me than against me. He better not accidentally kill me with one of the grenades. Ever since I changed the shotgun to slug type, I feel so good. I feel like in the update they improved the running of this, because this game used to chug a lot. and I think they've slightly improved it. It doesn't chug as much. I recommend getting this game though. But yeah, Nier Automata, man, such a good game, and it's a game that has layers to it that you can peel back and it just gets more interesting and honestly better the deeper you go in. It's so good. But the problem is it also does a lot of dumb stuff that I feel like you make conscious choices to make, like, not all the choices they made in there are good. A lot of them are good, but not all of them are good. For example, the creativity in the level designs is not very high. 75% of all the quests in that game, the side quests that is, suck. They are garbage filler fetch quests that are like what you would put in like a lazy MMO. There's a red ball somewhere. There it is. Sorry, I'm just a little focused today. Same got my complete attention. It's away defense mode, and I'd rather not have to do this over again. You know how easy it is to die in this game. And we're not even halfway through, apparently. There's one of my minions. I swear those guys take longer to zap. We have so much health here in the middle of the floor, I feel good. Just throw a couch at the dude. Yeah, normally with this much destruction, this game would start becoming like 5 frames. It's doing pretty alright. Did both of my buddies die? I think both my buddies died. You're my new buddy. Go out and make mess. Alright, they're throwing out big boys now. Hopefully with all the explosions running around, they don't accidentally murder me. There's a red thing somewhere. Stay right there. This you want, because these heal you and they heal your dudes. But yeah, I just kind of just want to say that, get it off my chest, where it's like, oh man, I've been doing pretty good with the posting schedule, but you know how holidays are. Oh shit. Shit, those things one-shot you. And those wraiths are invisible too. Where are you? You see how much damage that thing did? The thing did like 80% of my damage. It's ridiculous. Or 80% of my health. So crazy. Oh, I didn't realize you could possess them. Alright, do work for me. Alright, we're doing pretty good. We got a big boy, we got a wraith, we got a healing ball. Where are you going? Oh, did my wraith just die? Oh, he did. Man, big boy's still going strong. Okay. Shit, not this guy. Oh, my wraith is alive. Nice. That scared me. I literally thought he was about to kill me. I just realized that's not worth killing. These guys just blow up. I thought they were another type for a second. Man, we're still not over yet? Okay. Do I have any allies alive? Minigun man, you're mine. Alright, Heavy, let's go. By the way, how's the balance? It's not too loud one way or the other, is it? Yay! Man, if I didn't have possession, that would have been a lot harder. That was a fun little side quest. To revisit unique areas. Oh, so you can refight boss battles. That's kind of cool. Some of the bosses in this game are really cool. It's not... Or it sounds good, or it's not. Well, my sound mix, I upped the... Because a lot of people were saying that the game was too soft. So I just kind of put it a little bit higher. So if it sounds good, it sounds good. Okay, now where was the save point? Alright. On Twitch you go by Gamza? Ah, okay. Because, yeah, a lot of people have different handles, so sometimes, you know, I'm still trying to get it straight. Alright, so we're still in the Fra Mauro. We're going to Fra Mauro. Oh, interesting. So I guess YouTube in general is just louder than Twitch? I'll tell you something that I notice. Even when I feel the mixing is okay on my videos, for YouTube Premiere, that intro song that plays is so much louder. It's like distractingly loud. I think YouTube's just louder in general than Twitch. Twitch is full of all the ASMR. Oh crap. We just walked straight into an encounter.
It's too dark in here to fight this thing.
Yeah, right, man. Chest over there. It's like right there. Woof. That was close. That was close. He could have snatched me so fast. I'm really surprised he didn't. Oops. Zigging and zagging. I do not need chair. There we go. Okay. I'm glad the sounds good. One thing I also want to make sure that I do right with the Nier Automata is there's going to be a lot of technical details. So it is going to be one where I do want to make sure that I really do pace myself when I explain a story. I'm not going to speak super slow like some people want me to read an audiobook. That's not what I'm about. If you can't keep up, whatever. There's some people that really hate the logs too, even that's where the most interesting story parts are. You hear people... Because I tried looking over when I was doing Nier Automata. I'm actually still not done with recording on some parts, because the Gestalt files that tell you the real truth behind everything. They pull back the magician's screen and everything like that. They tell you everything. Like, I can't find a single video of somebody online who just posted, like, here's what's in those archive logs. Nobody posted that. If somebody can find a good recording of one, let me know, because otherwise right now I'm having to seek out all those Gestalt files myself. Because I'm like, damn it, YouTube, nobody did all the freaking secret collectibles. I know there are people that did 100% runs. Damn it. So it's like, that's just more work for me. I gotta go and get all the Gestalt files just so I can get like a 1-second clip explaining the nonsense that I'm explaining. The things I do. You think the bitrate on the video side is lower on here? I think that's probably true because on Twitch it's automatically at the highest and you have to be a partner to get adjustable settings, while on YouTube you can adjust it to whatever you can. You can adjust like the resolution rate to something lower, like 480 if you really want to. Because I'm outputting at the same exact bit rate on Streamlabs OBS. So if there's any difference, it's on the YouTube side of things. What is that giant red thing? Whatever it is, let's throw a rock at it. Oh, it's one of those little sniper dudes. Why do you have a giant red ore on him? Yeah, I legit forgot it was Thanksgiving week already. I had to be reminded of that. I'm like, oh my god, it is Thanksgiving week. And like every Thanksgiving, I'm not one of those where I just get to chill out and hang out and stuff like that. Nope, I'm in the kitchen with my mom, and we're cooking all day. We cook big breakfast, everybody sits around, we just kind of chat, watch movies, and we spend most of the afternoon cooking huge dinner, like a lot of stuff. So I'm on kitchen duty. So that's why I'm like, I know for a fact I'm not getting any work done on Thursday. I'll probably be like on my cell phone, maybe on Discord, but I'm not getting anything done. And honestly, why should you? Let's rest, you know, relax. Everybody just relax. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Even if you're not American, still enjoy a day where you can just chill out. It may not be a Thursday, but try to take a day off and just relax. Yeah, man, it's Thanksgiving week, bro.
Okay, we're gonna try this one more time and then we're done playing with you. Understand? Jelly, where are you from? Jump over there. Up and listen. Jesus Christ, does anyone have any idea what this thing is saying? Huh? You're Poland? Why are you here? What the hell do you want?
Crap. Unless you actually have to work that day. That's true. This is the first Thanksgiving in like 4 years I haven't had to work. No, actually longer than that. Shadows, remember when I would have to come in, or maybe, I don't know if it was you, but like me and like our DM sometimes would have to come in and just do shit on Thanksgiving Day for the store? Oh god, I do not miss those. Those are days I do not miss. Thanksgiving used to, and then of course the early opens for retail. Anybody who works retail, my condolences. I've served my time with that. I do not miss that. But yeah, first time in a while I have to work on Thanksgiving. I used to do the morning shift and then come back for the late shift. And then work at the midnight. I would leave around I think 2 a.m. get like a couple hours rest and come back in at maybe 10 a.m. and then work the mid shift and then leave again. That's what I used to do. Because I was always the heaviest. So it was like the midnight crowd and the midday crowd. You have to work Thanksgiving? Best of luck, bud. I do hope that this year there are genuinely less people in the store. I really do. No matter what industry you work in. Because people are already stressed out and mean and nasty during holiday time anyway. And that combined with, you know, safety precautions, we don't need any sort of nonsense like that. Man, you guys camouflage really well. I did not even notice you in the darkness. There's a sniper. Shit. Shit, where am I? All I can say is stay hydrated, and I hope you have comfortable shoes. I always feel that, you know, if you ever want to build respect in people, you really should walk not necessarily a mile in their shoes. Actually, you should walk a mile in their shoes, and you can do that literally. Because, man, ever since just working in retail or service industry, I always I'm like very polite to service industry people as well. And it always pisses me off when I see people that are nasty to them, because I can look over them and be like, unless you're just like absolute degenerate, you've clearly never worked in the service industry before. Because if you've worked in the service industry, you know what it's like on the other side of that fence. You know what that person's thinking. You know what their concerns and their fears are. You have literally walked a mile in their shoes because they're walking back and forth across this entire damn store for hours. So to me, always be polite. Always tip. Always have manners. Always be patient and respectful. Be forgiving even when they make the smallest mistakes. It's okay. Just because, and you have those other people who are like, well, people crap on me, so I'm gonna crap on them, right? Because that's how we get progress. If some random stranger was mean to me, so I'm gonna be mean to a random stranger, right? Well, how about if somebody's nice to you, you're nice to a random stranger? Does it go both ways, or are you just salty? Oh my god, the amount of people who are going to walk into any retailer, not just GameStop or Target, Walmart or Best Buy. You know, there's going to be people that are going to walk into like Bed Bath & Beyond and be like, did you guys get your PS5s? I know you guys have some in the back. I want to talk to the manager and see when your next supply is. Do you know when your next supply is going to be? Can you put me on a waiting list? Can you contact me? Do you price match? Oh my god, I do, all that. all that. And if you're the people that do that, I'm not going to say anything mean to you, but I'm just going to say that there are a lot of people who do not appreciate that. And you do not make people's lives any easier. And we talk smack about you the moment you leave the store. Unless you're me, and I talk smack to you even while you're in the store. So wait, the entire purpose of this closet was just to hold a flashlight? No way. No secrets in here? I guess so. What an arbitrary thing. But yeah. Be kind to others. Be patient. Yes, there. Whoa, that was something big and that was something weird. Oh, it's that dude. Try to be respectful. Be patient. If you see a toxic person or a crazy person or one of those Karens out there, you know, just film them and laugh at their face, because public ridicule is the only thing that really is going to get them to do anything. If they explode, great, you got a viral YouTube video. But don't throw rocks at them. Profit off their ridiculous meltdowns, but don't, like, they're poisonous. Like, you know, they're one of those enemies like the ones we just fight where if you pop them, they explode. And that's not good for anybody. Because they get goop everywhere, and that's just a mess. That is Dr. Hartman. Or at least what's left of him.
A chain letter. I remember these. Mom used to say they were evil. Better do what it says. You know, just in case. There must be a photocopier around here.
Investigations Operations Center. Alright, we got a side quest. Let's do a side quest. But yeah, be nice, mind your manners, be patient, don't let the stress of others rattle you, toss a coin to your witcher, all the things. I think I'll do Operations Corridor. But yeah, Theo, you were saying earlier about recaps. What recap were you watching, by the way? Let's talk shop a little bit. Zero, I had a customer decades ago that was upset she couldn't find a particular product of just being plain rude. My supervisor walked by and came to see what the issue was. Oh, sounds like we got a story going on. Keep typing. I'll read it. I love reading stories. I love telling stories. Alright, there's a copy machine somewhere here. Ah, there it is. Nice of the game to highlight it.
This certainly feels familiar.
Alright, mail a copy of the chain letter in utility corridor, abandoned offices, and observation deck. Where are we? We're in operations. Alright, utility, abandoned, observation. I forget, is there not a way to access a map in this game? Oh, it's up. Okay, got it. Alright, so we're in utility corridor. No, we're in operations. Alright, so we were at utility. No, we weren't at utility. We were okay. We were at the other turntable. Alright, so if we go down, looks like abandoned office has a warp point to it. Utility kind of has a warp point to it. And observation has... Actually, we were just at observation deck. And they have a warp point to it. We could also go through active investigations. I think we're going to go and warp to abandoned offices. Oh, you've watched almost all of my recaps? Nice. That would be a pure vanity thing that I wish I could do. I wish, for recommending to YouTube, I love the destruction in this game. It's so cool. The way they did it too, if you ever watch the behind the scenes on how they made the destruction in this game, it's very clever. We never fixed filing and processing. Where was the...
Agent Fisher, day 6 inside the hotel. Utilize surveillance methods.
I'm lost. Where was the warp point? There it is. Okay. But I wish YouTube would let me create like an achievement system, and like watch 100 recaps would be an achievement. I think we're at 112 or 15 by now. I have a file where I have it recorded. But yeah. Because Twitch has achievements for the streamer, and they have that little collect useless doohickey thing for chat that kind of quickly was like, oh, this is a nice bell and whistle, then you realize it just really doesn't do anything. It's kind of stupid. But at the very least, creating like a little achievement system for your channel might be kind of cool. Alright, so I should go through that door, down, and through office again. You see when I have the map up, it just chugs. That's kind of how like the game ran when there was too much destruction. Zero, and her attitude changed from rude to please help me. Was she like grateful, please help me, or was she like snappy, or was she like apologetic? Yeah, I always told all my employees the same thing. Shadows was part of that, where as long as you are, you know, honest and respectful and you stick by the rules, I will always have your back. And I've never not done that. Even for the people that backstab me, like Abel, even for people like that, or Elizabeth, you know, even for people like that, I still never backstabbed them. Even though they backstabbed me. And they, you know, doesn't matter. Always went to bat for the right reasons. Just because other people throw people under the bus doesn't give you the right to do the same. It's not right. Oh, okay. So you have to find your mailing station. And there's one. Ooh, hello. Shit. There's a ball somewhere. These guys will never die as long as this stupid thing is here. Alright, now we're in business. Rough housing. Okay, that's new. I have not seen anything that shoots a giant beam, laser beam like that. That's a new thing. Where were you? Freaking Cyclops over here. Alright, this guy's a little sniper. He likes to run and hide. I need to kill him before my... I think he's a variation of that Phantom, because I think he turns invisible and then tries to snipe you. I'm running out of healing. Yeah, he's a variation of the Phantom. That's a new one. They're evolving. But yeah, you also have those customers who just think the manager can fix everything. It's like, man, you don't realize, like, being middle management is pretty damn tough. Because you are literally paid to eat shit sandwiches, and it's not pleasant. Sometimes you just have to be satisfied with the work you were doing, and the moment it stopped becoming fun, that's when you need to stop. Alright, we need to go to utility corridor now. I love it also when they have like a really simple question and you on the floor can answer it and they just refuse to ask you. They think like, you know, you're too dumb. So they either A, ask the manager, like the manager is just magically going to answer everything even though like it's a question anybody else can answer, or they ask like the cashier. I hated the people who walked up to the cashier and asked them questions. Like, do you not see these people helping this line of 100 people? And like, yeah, but I just got a question. Stop right there. Did you not just hear me when I said, do you not see this person is handling this line of like 100 people? Yeah, but I just got a quick question. It won't take a minute. Oh my god. Or those people who's like, I've been waiting here for 30 minutes, and the person behind you was waiting for 31 minutes, and the person behind them was waiting for 35 minutes. What's your point? There is one thing that I very much appreciate, though, about all the years working retail, and that is that... Alright, so we're going to go through the turntable, we're going to go, or we're going to hang a right. Okay, got it. Is that it really did help me develop a thick skin. You kind of have to survive in that environment. If not, I've seen it break so many people. I've seen good people break down for all the wrong reasons. And, you know, it's just one of those that you have to survive. I thought I had to hang a right. Well, I guess I don't know my right from my left. Audio sounds good on mobile. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's good feedback. Where's the door that I'm supposed to be going to? Oh, chest. I'm going in like the wrong direction. It's supposed to be there, right? But I don't see any door. And what's that light over there? Or can I go up through there? Okay, that's the way through. Utility corridor.
Two down, one to go.
Sure hope no random monsters spawn out of nowhere. Have I been down here before? Speak of the devil. I'm pretty sure I've been here. Oh, so even those guys don't like the Zambos. Hey, Griffin. Hello, are you not streaming on Twitch anymore? I unfortunately am not. I'll give you the very short description of that story. So as of last week, Twitch announced a lot of changes, and to me it was the final straw on the back of a long series of changes that, quite frankly to me, were not in the benefit of anybody who's not a partner on Twitch. Part of the reason I feel is because Twitch has gained like a ridiculous amount of traffic over the past couple of months alone. Not just quarantine improvement, but just in general. To the point where I can't help but suspect that they now feel that they're doing very nasty moves and they feel they're beyond reproach on it. Because they have such a huge user base now. I think they improved by like 70-80%. It's something ridiculous. And like they're making like double or triple what they used to. Just the amount of people that either started streaming because they wanted to do something during quarantine, or people watching streaming because they're in quarantine, or any reasons. Any of that. And so because of that, they suddenly become very, shall we say, consumer unfriendly. And because of that, I'm like, I've been streaming on here for 2 years. And it's been a pretty cool, chill thing. But now they're doing a lot of stuff that really makes me question the integrity of this platform and all the recent drama they've had recently, where they've shown that they not only have a very fragile structure, even if you are a partner, they're not going to protect you, they don't have repeal systems, they are a decade behind when it comes to regulations. It suddenly showed the weakness, the position of their weakness, where they were kind of a paper tiger. They were a paper tiger showing this incredibly fearsome, strong platform with a lot of momentum, a lot of money gained, and all that's true. But the moment you just blow on it the wrong way, it falls apart. And I'm like, let me just at least go back to a platform that at least I know has supported me for a little bit. I didn't do YouTube originally, just for YouTube Gaming, because originally when YouTube Gaming came out, that sub-platform was absolute garbage. Garbage platform, no controls, terrible moderation. Maybe modulation, I don't know. But recently, they've actually done better. They're not up to Twitch levels in terms of usability and accessibility, but they are definitely better than what they used to be. I also was slightly running away from a bad experience earlier, which was The Last of Us 2 live recap plus stream. That was not a good experience.
And that's 3. should take care of any bad karma or whatever. But how did that first letter get in here? I wonder if I could track it to the source.
And so because that was not a very good experience for anybody who was there, I was like, man, people on YouTube are just salty, mean, and assholes. Like, I'm so used to, you know, the comments being that occasionally, very rarely. I'm very blessed to have a very good community here. But, man, it just wasn't a good experience. But having tried it yesterday, and even now, I was like, wow, everybody here is so cool. Or at least the people that stuck around are cool. And yeah, Shadows, you exactly right. It's like my core audience is here, and they kind of want to stay here. I enjoyed the quiet space that Twitch was, where it was a very small, intimate environment. But I'm also getting that need fulfilled by Discord right now, where it's like, you know what? It's a nice, chill environment. I can escape the noise. I can just kind of relax and say whatever I want. YouTube is still a little more regulated. Like, I have to really control swearing on here. These streams aren't monetized anyway, which is kind of funny, so I'm literally just doing this for fun. But at the same time, I feel like I'm getting the same sort of, like, I'm having fun in this chill environment like I was getting during the good times of Twitch. So that's the reason why, until Twitch improves its nasty attitude, I'm not going back there. And they because I'm not a partner, they probably do not miss me. Yeah, thank you for joining, Griffin. You were always hanging out and chilling out during all the Twitch streams anyway, so hopefully we can see your wonderful presence here as well. Would love to have you still on. I need to stop this because I keep hitting the button to pull up the map in Nier Automata, and I'm not playing Nier Automata. You just have built-in behaviors.
Okay, I'm just going to freestyle. My mother always said, never talk to strangers. Always. Never. Always. Never.
I guess I should just follow the tube.
Yeah, but which tube did it come out of? Or do all the tubes go to the same place?
So you're the one sending out spam mail. That takes care of that.
Oh, I was expecting it to be a boss battle. Like I was going to go to the astral plane. Interesting. So a haunted mailbox is what actually sends chain letters that actually legitimately curse you. I did it again. And yeah, thanks guys. I appreciate all the support.
Director Faden here. Send backup to my location.
Put him down!
Did they send a level 7 grunt? Yep. They always send level 7 grunts. We're fighting level 8 and level 9 people here, and they send level 8 grunts, or level 7 grunts. Come on. My department can't do any better than that. That sniper is deadly. That's not good. We need to neutralize that sniper. Still alive. I need health so bad. Live, thank you. Shit, that's too low. Of course all the health falls in there. Why wouldn't it? Need health, need health, need health, need health. Engaging. Range-filled sniping. It's not cheap, it's a legitimate tactic. Whatever you drop, I'm having it. Mmm, delicious marbles. Whew. Alright. Got dicey there, but we pulled out. It may not have been you guys. It may have been on my end. Because I just got a message from Streamlabs saying chat disconnected, reconnecting, successfully reconnected. So it may have been, that may have been a my end kind of thing. Rage Fuel sniping is the best sniping. It's been proven that spite increases the overall performance. You know what? I don't deny that. Sometimes humanity's best work has been done purely out of spite. You need a motivator, you know? Just like Nier Automata. I want to somehow sneak Nier a tomato into the recap, but that may just be too disrespectful. Alright, so I guess we call the lift. There's no lift to call. I thought this would have been where we fought the big Langston, but perhaps not. Can we open the loading bay doors, I wonder? I think what I will do, though... Nah. I should just want to relax. I was going to say, it's like I could just start scripting. I may not be scripting, but I think I will definitely... Project Debatable. Thinking about that. I know I said I was going to call it Project Debation, but I think Project Debatable sounds nicer. I don't know if I want to call the project It's Debatable or just Debatable, but I think Debatable just sounds nice. Okay, where am I supposed to go after this? I don't see anywhere... I hope it's not jump down the giant hole. Actually, it looks like it's going to be jump down the giant hole. Before we go this way, let's explore. Because you know you gotta go off the beaten path if you want to find all the treasure. But let's see. That was weird. A lift. And that's one of those doors that kills things, like flashlights, when I go through them. Alright, so before we go there... let me ask an open-ended question. What are some of the ways you feel people win arguments? The two main ways I thought of... oh, the door just fixed itself. Okay. Are people like to win or consider an argument done when they either like beat the other person down into submission basically with their words or arguments, or they actually defeat the argument itself through whatever nefarious means. But what are some other ways that people have like consider like winning an argument? You've been forced to play Destiny 2, Umbra? That's not so bad. The new expansion is great. And if you have Xbox Game Pass, you already have the latest expansion. A lot of good stuff there. They just released a lot of new areas and quests because people beat the raid yesterday. And so I think it's kind of cool that once the public has beaten the raid, it has opened up new areas for everyone else to enjoy. That's kind of cool. Was that really for that one chest? That just seems so suspicious. Alright, so we don't need the flashlight because we already know it's going to be destroyed. You don't like shooters? That's okay. Even if you don't like shooters, the shooting is so simple in Destiny that there's a playstyle for everyone. You don't have to be very, very good to play Destiny. No offense to any Destiny 2 fans who feel they're sweaty, but like I've said before, there are so many guns with so much aim assist that you in so many weapon types like bows that just you have to just be in the general direction and they will hit the enemy. It's so forgiving. It's so forgiving. That's why that game is not actually competitive. So Framaro has something to do... oh, that's bad. That's very bad. Are there two of them? Or is he teleporting that fast? I think it's just one. Alright, so we have... What, is he talking? Okay, so this light can move. We're probably going to need it to move up and down the area. Agree to disagree to end a debate. But will we consider that that's a way to end a debate? Maybe. I think agree to disagree is a good thing to note, though. Hold on, I'm gonna open up my notes. I'm not gonna lie. Agree to disagree sounds like a white deck maneuver, because they're trying to invalidate the argument or walk away from it while claiming it's neutral ground and claiming everybody's equal when really that's not the case. I'm writing down all those things that sound good for argument debate things. Like agree to disagree is a great one. If you say so is another one that's very like passive aggressive. That's also very white deck. The people that say if you say so, you know, they're just kind of like trying to wash their hands clean of it, but they're not agreeing. Let's see. Create more arguments to wear the other person down. Yeah, I feel that's possible. If you overpower the other person with the presence of your arguments, like just the atmosphere where it's like you just dogpile them with whatever arguments you have, even like if most of them are nonsense, that might work. That's not bad. I think I might use that. I feel people win arguments either by spouting nonsense and winning because the other person doesn't want to continue debating, calmly stating facts, or by compromising. Trust me, lack of compromising is how a lot of things don't get resolved. But remember, the goal in debatable is... Oh wait, hold on, there's a little thing here. Oh, so this shows you how it's moving, so it's going to move in a square. Remember, the goal is not to... Arguments are not resolved, they are only survived. That's debatable. Oops. Okay, so I have a cube. Where does this guy go? Oh, this shows you where the things go. Cool. I like little post-it notes. I can go back that way, or I can go there. Okay, that's where it needs to go. Oh, there's two things, though. But wait, there's three things, and one of them's covered by goop. Did we pass a power thing? Wait, where's my light source? Where's my light source? He's right on me. Ooh, I just got away with that. That was interesting. It's like it moved entirely. Nice. But what did that get me? Go away. Okay, so I need the other light thing to go there. Oh god, I can't move. Alright. So I need to get this thing over there. You don't have to waste energy arguing. Everybody has to argue, whether or not you start it or you are involved in it. You can't run away from conflict. I mean, you can, but that just makes you a yellow deck player. And I don't mean yellow in terms of chicken. I just use yellow because all the other colors were used. I think it's better than saying brown player. But yeah, yellow deck people are the type of people who like to withdraw from the argument, maybe defend, deflect it a little bit. It's just as crazy as a tactic as what I would describe myself, which is a blue player. I would describe myself the type of person who likes to make people trip on their own words, trap people, counter what they're saying, and make their arguments fall on their own weight. That's what I do. There's nothing glamorous about any of the 6 decks, but I do feel that everyone on the planet argues in one of those 6 primary ways. And if you claim you don't, you're a liar. Hey Kuma, how's it going? Did he just laugh at you? Yes, he did. He did just chuckle at me. And he's waiting exactly where he knows I need to go. He's camping. Which is also a legitimate strategy. Because if you're a good player, camping shouldn't work on you. You know, people who say that camping is cheap, it just means you're not good enough to combat it. And that's a you problem. You're a yellow deck player? There's nothing wrong with that. The thing about yellow deck players is that they're actually probably the trickiest out of all of them, because trying to nail down a yellow deck player is kind of hard, because they can be all over the place, and in that confusion they can actually seize victory. Otherwise, they can play with other people's heads. Like, the worst yellow deck players that I don't personally like to deal with are the people who play the victim card. I hate yellow deck players who play victim. I hate it when they use that spell effect. So here are the 2 victory conditions on how I'm thinking you win in Debatable. So let me describe this. Here's the board layout. Again, every single day I'm thinking about this. You of course have your main deck. And your actual units that you place on your field are gonna be like the logical fallacies that are out there. You know, things like ad hominem attack. You know, an ad hominem is gonna be like a red deck unit. If you don't know what ad hominem is, it's when you attack the person instead of attacking the argument. It's, in other words, name calling or something insulting like that. When you insult the person instead of the argument, that's classic ad hominem attack, and that's a classic red deck player move. If the person's just a name caller, they don't have a point to prove, they just want to name call you, that's a red deck move. So you're gonna have your 3 zones for the 3 different types of arguments. We're going to call them A, B, and C. And those are those 3 lanes. In each one of those, there's 2 slots. So there's 6 slots basically, 2 per each type, A, B, and C. So A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. Think of it like that. Those are your 3 playable spots on the board. Now, you can win by destroying 2 out of the 3 of your opponent's sections. So you have, if you destroy all the person's A's, all the person's B's, and they only have C left, you win the game. You can also win by directly attacking to the person to the point where they lose, I guess, life points or whatever, for lack of a better word. If you reduce the other person's core base by X amount of value, then, you win as well. So you have a couple different options of winning. You can go by attacking the board, or you can go by attacking the other player directly. If you... Also, there's like a third meter, and I think it's going to be something along the lines of kind of like what Shadows was mentioning, where it's kind of like an overall sort of field effect. Hey, got him. If the overall tone of the argument is strong enough, then you can win that third way. So it's kind of like an economic victory. Gerbil took the top head. Interesting. So you kind of have win by attacking the other person directly, attack by destroying their side of the board, or you can win by economy. So those are kind of like the 3 ways you can win. That's kind of where I'm going so far. Like, every day I'm thinking a little bit more about this. You don't have to, win in all 3 ways, but, you have to win one of the 3 ways. Griffin, I won't lie. If I'm arguing about something, I'm passionate and I tend to steamroll, and if you have to cut it else, I'll just get your full argument out. Interesting. So you're one of those high combo players. That is kind of red deck, where you're very aggro and you're very fast, and you like to build up combos very quick so you can seize a quick victory. Because red deck doesn't just mean being, like, super insulting. It means that the goal of your attack is going to be primarily winning very fast. It's just like Magic and News burn decks. You're all about fast wins. If that means bludgeoning the other player directly to death to do so, then so be it. But you're all about making these games short. That's what I'm feeling. I don't have a prototype yet. I'm just, like, every single day I'm just thinking a little bit about it. I think this would be a cool way to evolve the game. I think this would be a cool way to evolve the game. This is like, these streams are going to probably become my dev diary. I don't know why I even keep some of these boosts, because I'm never going to use them. I shouldn't have deleted that one, actually. But who am I kidding? I'm not going to use it. Health recovery on launch hit would have helped me. When, like, you need health, but you can't kill the other enemy, but you can peg them. With just, like, throwing rocks at them. Like, that actually is another way of restoring health. But yeah, I think that's about where I want to go with the game system so far. For A1, A2, B1, B2, the strength of your actual unit that you place in that spot, that reflects your attack and your defense for that spot. So A1, anything that's 1, that's like the 1 row, that's going to be your attack, and anything on the back row, 2, is going to be your defense. So if I put like a power 3 monster in A1, and then like a power 5 monster in like A2, then that means that my attack is going to be 3 and my defense is going to be 5. I don't know quite yet how they're all going to tie into each other. I want to try a couple different things, but that's kind of where I'm going so far. So if you have a monster, just putting it down on the field, where you put it is going to be just as important as what you actually put down. That's coming from like where I like a little bit of RTS to this, because I like where positioning matters. I'm trying to work that into the game. I basically wrote down a whole bunch of things that I like in other games, and I'm trying to weave them into the game that I'm designing. I like to think that's how a lot of game design starts off, where it just pops in someone's head like, this would be a cool thing to do. Spam mail. Oh, that's so cool. So we got this as part of finishing the that attack. Nice. So these gold mods are basically like super rare ones. I didn't even notice that. I don't think we have any other gold ones. I think we're good. But yeah. This will be a long development phase. No promises on... Oops. We need a flashlight. Does this count as a light? Maybe not. I think a spotlight is what the game wants me to pick up. What's this all about? So I was just trying to suggest that the moon landing was filmed here, in the oldest house. Yeah, in the game, 3 main ways to play. You can go for, you know, military victory just by out beating up all the other person's counter arguments and stuff like that.
Yes, B? Who are you? C to C.
Hello?
Or you can, you know, outplay them by overwhelming them, getting the field out, raising
Sure.
your economy, or just by beating the player down. Not actually attacking the argument or the field, just literally attacking the other player until they submit. I think it's kind of apt. I want to have a little bit of relation to the core premise. I think theming is an important part to all of this.
The head for tails. For reading news, jars, words, and tumble. The reading head.
Okay. Take it easy. I'll take a look.
So maybe it wants something to read. Or a jar. Let's just see what we can find.
Find what the prisoner wants. Oh, is clue? I like how there's a lot of detail on here, like this wasn't just some made up nonsense. I mean, it could be. I'm not actually going to solve for any of these equations. Read this board. I'm not exactly sure what it's asking. That hoop might be important.
This could be what it wants. Let's give it a shot.
Oh, there's gonna be items around here then. Okay.
No, jars. A head. Scotch and peppers? Head.
Okay, that wasn't right. Let's try something else.
Maybe a head of lettuce, like that salad over there? Perhaps?
Maybe it'll
Or a
like
head of
this.
cheese? If there's a pattern here, I'm not seeing it.
Head. A-S-B-E. Head.
Nope. Let's keep trying. Maybe this will
Toilet
do the
paper.
trick?
Everybody needs toilet paper. I think the theming of the decks is the thing I'm the most proud of.
Lusa, you ping pong. A head.
Guess that wasn't it either. Huh. This might do it.
If there's a right answer and it's none of these things, I'm brute forcing this at this point. So hey, how's everyone's week going? Anybody have any cool plans for Thanksgiving or?
Lady, you are school and dirt for losing.
Keep that up, and I won't help you anymore.
Not that.
Let's see if this will do it.
What was
I'm
that?
ready to be done with this.
Is that a squeaky toy? Huh.
Furry clocks, lady. The head. 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 No snacks. Head is top of all up and down. At the top. The top head.
Wait, does this thing actually mean head? Head is in a body's head? Where the hell am I gonna find that?
Investigation Sector Head Office,
How's it
apparently.
moving?
Oh, the head office. Wait, have we been there? Have we been to Sector Head Office? We haven't been there yet. Oh wait, it's all the way down there. Huh. You can see your family after like 6 months? Oof, okay. Well, hopefully you're happy to see them and they're happy to see you. There is some family that I do not like to visit. Not immediate family. My immediate family's okay. It's extended family. I don't know if anyone else is like that, where you're cool with your regular family, but like extended family, debatable. Haha. Which one of these? There we go. I really wish that the warp points kind of corresponded to the location zone they were in, but at least the map helps with that. Alright, what does this guy want? This might be a good time for a grenade launcher. Wow, that thing did nothing for damage. I don't want to take you over. I want to kill you. Oh, there's a head.
A helmet. For a head. Is that what the prisoner meant? I guess there's only one way to find out.
Yeah, haven't you ever watched The Fast and the Furious? It's all about family. Family doesn't always mean blood. Blood doesn't always mean family. Family doesn't always mean family. Family always means family. Ohana means family. I don't know what The Fast and the Furious is on about. Facebook's another family drama. Facebook is too damn dramatic. I've been on Facebook in so many years. Don't miss it. Holiday dinners are usually prime time for arguments to occur, unfortunately. I think that's the difference. See, in my family, we recognize debating as strength. It's always a contest of wills. And so if you can't debate well enough, it's almost like a sport. Like it's never personal, it's always just, I don't want to say business, but it's more formal than that. Like, it's never personal. If you assert a point, you will always be argued with it. Not necessarily because they disagree with you, but A, see if you know what you're talking about, B, see how much you believe in it, and C, just honestly how much you actually want to defend that point or educate others on it. Debating is actually part of communicating in general. Just friendly arguments are just how we talk. I think if other people look outside, they'd be like, man, these people argue about every little thing. No, you don't understand. That's how we talk and communicate. It could seem a little aggressive, but after years of it, trust me, nobody gets off by feeling that there's any hard feelings. At least that's how it is in the immediate family. Other people may be a little bit more emotional. And honestly, I love it. So many verbal fisticuffs. It is so fun to try to play with other people.
Tubes, snug and grape, pure grapes. Hail a lady.
You're welcome, I guess. Did Kirkland lock you up in here?
Chief Trouble? Yes. Teddy's long around, but all out's unhappiest. Can gather for goldfishes. No wrinkle.
Okay. Well, sounds like you're doing fine in there now. Just make sure you don't go anywhere.
Jelly.
Jelly.
Help this guy. I think.
We got a mod called Thin Space.
Locked up though.
Because what some people, and maybe this just sounds completely alien and some people just don't get it, is you can just argue and just have fun. Wait.
We have no idea what it did.
Charge. Wow, projectile speed plus 500%. I almost want to try this gun out again. I don't like charge too much, but
More problems out here.
we'll test it out. If the projectile speed is that much longer or that much faster, it might be worth it. Adding an epic mod sometimes changes the game. Yeah, Shadows knows from personal experience of working that I never back down from an argument. If anything, it excites me. I love verbal fisticuffs. It's one of the most fun things you can do. And so many people just get so butthurt about it. They take it too personally. And I like arguing just for the sake of arguing. There's nothing negative about it. because there's no hard feelings. If there was, then sure. That would just be mean, that would just be bullying. But it's not about that. How am I oh, was I supposed to pull this from down there from up there? Because I can't go through this door with it, I think. Or maybe I can. You know what? It's not worth it. Alright, so while we're here, I guess now we're at the final phase of things. Do you guys have those arguments you never agree on but still pull out occasionally just to mess with each other? Yes. 100%. And sometimes you can't avoid it. It's like when somebody will bring up just an old point, like people do that in video games all the time. You know how many people are still arguing the same points from games that came out 30 years ago that are just old debates, and yet people are still arguing about them like they're relevant? Like, I didn't like the battle system in this one game, or I think this was the best possible way of telling a story, or like, wow, this character was dumb, or things like that. And then you'll have somebody counter debate that. Or, I think this ending meant this way. And it's nothing new. It's nothing new. That it may be new to that person because they weren't paying attention to, honestly, any of the atmosphere or environment for the past who knows how long. So to them, it's new. It's a new debate. But for everyone else, they're like, oh my god, really?
Director, ma'am, great timing. Hartman just came through here. God, he was hideous. He tore the security door to the Brain Falls AWE site wide open. He was so ugly. Like, wow, I got a good look at him, and Christ, he does not...
Yeah, Shadows and I know exactly the debate about Final Fantasy 13 that comes up every single time. I really like the battle system in 13. I think it's a great battle system. I think there are a lot of mechanics and a lot of things that 13 does very well. And Shadows is like many people where he thinks it's like the scum of the earth, just unforgivably awful, irredeemable, all that.
The darkness wants to hide the past and make me lose my way. I trust what I read on these pages.
This expansion has a lot less Alan Wake in it than I thought it would, though.
Tear it apart and rewrite it.
Like he pumped in the, he just kind of popped in the beginning. He's like, I'm Alan Wake, and this game is now officially tied to my universe. And then that's kind of it. We haven't seen him since. A little disappointed in that. I got dressed up in my suit for nothing. I got dressed up in my office suit and put my hair up to look like Dana Scully because I thought I wanted to be professional looking in front of Alan Wake. Man, talk about getting dressed up and for nothing.
Stuck. Let's go take care of it.
And I personally believe that as the years have gone on, it's been like, what, 10 years almost, at least. Most people don't play most of the older Final Fantasies at all. They play like the most modern one, and then maybe... And maybe they play like one or two of like the big popular ones that they hear about. It is almost faster to shoot things with my pistol. It really is. Explosives are just not very good in this game. But yeah, I feel that time has forgiven a lot of that game. And besides, no matter what you say, that game still sold a lot of copies. It's a shame that the sequels were not reviewed as much as by people. People just gave up on the series because each sequel got better and better, in my opinion. Which is kind of redundant because everybody's perspective of a video game is their opinion. But sometimes people need reminding of that. But yeah, most people don't go back and play older Final Fantasies. They really don't. Because who could be bothered? There's so many games to play these days. Who has time? Which is why I recommend you check out my wonderful channel called well, it's not called Recaps, Oni Black Mage, but where I, conveniently and hopefully concisely, and depending on the age of the video, not confusingly, explain video game recaps for you.
Thank you for meeting with us again, Dr. Harmon. Thank you for meeting with us again, Dr. Harmon.
It's my pleasure, gentlemen. I hope the information.
Alright, we're gonna change off this because I never liked this explosive one. This delayed blast gun is just not very good. I'd rather have shotgun. With all the things that are trying to rush me down, I'd rather have shotgun.
It's been invaluable, Doctor. Really, we have a much clearer picture of this.
I feel like the Among Us meme is appropriate for Final Fantasy. It's like, oh, you like Final Fantasy? Name every Final Fantasy game you played. You know? That sort of argument was happening before. Did I do a recap of Final Fantasy IV? I absolutely did.
I've forgotten again. I had a plan. I know it. I've forgotten.
Alan Wake always carried a flashlight with him. Had terrible battery mileage, but at least he had one.
I've got to get out of here. Dive deep.
And we're still not done with Final Fantasy. I still need to do 4 Heroes of Light, which, by the way, there's somebody out there. I don't know if you're in chat, but like it's very confusing when you ask one time, "Hey, did you?" He swears up and down. It's like the Mandela effect, where he swears up and down that I did a recap on Final Fantasy IV Heroes of Light, and they asked that question during the Q&A, and I was like, "No, I did not actually make a video on that yet. I will, but I haven't done one yet." And he's like, "No, I know you." I know you made one. I remember watching it. I commented on it. I'm like, that's impossible. You watched somebody else's video. I haven't made one yet. And the thing is, this guy really is convinced that I made one and either deleted it or made it private. And I'm like lying or something. I'm like, trust me, if I'm going to lie and pretend that nothing happened with the game, it's not going to be 4 Heroes of Light. Oh, you made the joke early in the stream? Okay, well, I know it's not you, Shadows, but somebody else was. And I know when I do make 4 Heroes of Light, they're probably going to be like, ah, so I see you uploaded it, or something smarmy like that. But I do actually need to do 4 Heroes of Light. I need to do World of Final Fantasy. And of course the Dissidia trilogy. The Dissidia trilogy I'm probably going to do after I do the next wave of Castlevanias. I think I mentioned this last time. but they're very short games. Or rather, they get shorter. The first one is, I think, the longest one, and they just put less and less effort into the main campaign. For Heroes of Light, I'm going to say right now, I haven't taken that much time to do because it is kind of a slow-moving and not very interesting game. Kind of on the boring side.
Going mad. Wake had to escape, right? His escape. Wake needed a hero. A hero needed a crisis. For the part in the story about the government agency, Wake needed something special, something to convey an alien force mimicking human.
I also think it's funny when I did the Castlevanias, people are like, you have too much alliteration. And I'm like, I don't have too much alliteration. I have just as much alliteration as I do during a normal recap. You just don't notice it as much. But maybe I do have too much alliteration in general. Maybe that's a valid point. OG Gino, thanks. Appreciate you guys' support. Alright, so that's poison. But yeah, I really like Castlevania. I wish, I guess you could say, that more people did too.
Another replica. Like
It's
the
kind of
one
hard.
in
After all,
Jordan.
the franchise is dead.
I wonder what happened here.
This is Director Faded. I require backup at this location.
The franchise is dead. It's like, you know, Silent Hill or Metal Gear or any of the Konami franchises. Like, it's basically dead. And there's nothing you can do about that. But that doesn't mean that we forget. Alright, so...
These are the notes of Dr. Emil Hartman.
Alright, we need to get to that node. Alright, Soldier Man, you're gonna stay here and hopefully not die. I'm gonna magically telekinetically fly through the air. Ooh, look at that gun. He's got the PPSH. Oh, he just... Wow, you got here fast. Man. They train you guys pretty well here. And of course he's camping by the other one right over there. What a meanie face. Do you consider the Final Fantasy Legends games to be Final Fantasy games? Nope. They are going to be added as the Saga, because they were the... Even now, even when they re-released the Saga collection, it's Final Fantasy Legends 1, 2, and 3. Like, just like how it was in Japan, where it was, shit. Telekinetic... Phew. Picked up the wrong thing. Man, he took up so much health. Ah, okay. But yeah, they're going to be part of the Saga series, which I haven't started yet, and quite frankly, am not super interested in doing. Case by case basis. Not because I don't like the games, or that they're bad games. The reason being is because a lot of those games are... Oh, good, he's distracting him. They don't have canon paths or canon endings. Oh. Aha. That's bad. Ooh. One shot me. Granted, I was low health, but brutal. Let me guess, I'm gonna have to do all that over again. Because the game doesn't like checkpoints. Yep. Alright. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this a little bit faster. Maybe... Oh, I didn't realize this was a house. Oh, can I just jump in the battle now? Oh my god, the game gave me a checkpoint. No, get away! He's dropping health. Let me drink these Skittles real fast. Bye. Where's a forklift when you need one? Die, that's bad, that's bad. Oh. Oh, that was a forklift. I was looking for one of those. Those things deal massive damage. There's another one there. Cool, good to know. Okay, so that was just phase one. Of course he'd have a second health bar. Why wouldn't he have a second health bar? Honestly, zip and grip never fails me. Stop that. Target this. Nope, wrong one. I think it's kind of cool you can't regain any of your powers until you step back into the light. See, what they need to do, even if they don't have the licensing for it, is they need to play one of those cool songs that they played during Alan Wake, or this one. No, get away! Oh, did I beat him? Oh, I think I did. Haha.
Hartman won't be a problem anymore, Langston.
First try.
But investigations need someone to run it. Interested?
I've seen what happens to sector heads, ma'am. No, thank you. Ma'am, I'm getting something on my terminal here, an AWE alert from Bright Falls, Washington. But it might be a glitch. The date's all wrong, a couple of years in the future. And we're in lockdown. There shouldn't be any incoming signals.
Maybe it was active before we went into lockdown? Are there agents on site?
Let me check. Agent Estevez is the field agent in charge of monitoring the site, so she should be there to let us know if the situation has been through any major changes.
These are probably references I'm not getting, because I haven't played Alan Wake in forever. It smells like name drops and references.
Things set in motion. If the alarm's true, then so is the reason for the alarm. The effect must follow.
There were some allegations that Kojima took credit for the story when another person assisted initially. I'd believe that.
You have been warned.
So this may ruffle people's feathers, but I've never been enamored with Kojima. Never. Because that man, ever since he made Metal Gear Solid 2, has always been an artiste. And here's the problem with artistes. They are such drama queens. And they're all, nothing's done until it's perfect in my book. They are a waste of time, they don't commit to schedules, they waste so many resources, and they don't commit to anything, and everything has to be perfect for their vision. Their art is never finished. And Kojima hits all those marks. I smelled it on him for so long. I'm like, this guy's an artiste. And he always has that drama. How many games did he say, oh, I don't want to make video games anymore. I don't like making video games. This will be my last video game. He said that like 4 times. And then he went back and made more video games. And a lot of people like to bring up, oh, well, you know, boo-hoo, Konami was so mean to Kojima. First of all, Konami's a company. You know, the entire company wasn't mean to Kojima. You know, the janitor cleaning up, like, the break room wasn't mean to Kojima. Look at this thing. You know, did he maybe have a bad boss, or did he have a bad work relationship there? Who knows? Maybe he did. Maybe they did mistreat a lot of their workers. A lot of companies do. Those are the people that are the most vocal. But does that mean it was all bad? Not really. Am I defending Konami? Not necessarily, but I am adding rationality to this. Doesn't anybody else find it awfully suspicious that nobody is corroborating his statements on his treatment over there at the company? We only have his word for it? That seems a little bit suspicious in my opinion. Actually, that's awfully suspicious in my opinion. When you only get one side of an argument, that's not proper. And so I'm like, while I'm not saying things may have been, you know, hunky-dory over there, and I'm sure as an artiste people stepped on his toes, such as, you know, the boss being like, hey, Kojima, do you mind, we have like a deadline, you know, do you mind picking this up a little bit? And he's like, no, my art must wait. You know, it has to be perfect. I am positive that happened at least once. And it's like, okay, it's great that you want to take all the time and resources you want, but we don't have infinite time and resources to make a game. We gotta get shit done. I need an explosive. He has my explosive. I hate juggernauts. And he regenerates energy so fast. Where'd you go?
Kind of looks like Pen. I wonder if they treated Pen as bad.
Oh, I can actually mind control him here. Sweet, I'm gonna do that. Sweet. What's up, man? What's up, junior agent? You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna chill out until your timer runs out and you die. So while we're waiting here watching this man die, allow me to throw more shade on Kojima. So one thing I always thought was, Kojima may complain a lot, but he gets a lot of just blank checks to write. And I think when that was taken away from him, I think a lot of the drama, again, being a bit of a drama queen, he blew that out of proportion. So when he left and he took his sob story with him, while I don't believe 100% of what he says. I don't believe it for an instant. And when some people are like, oh, it's Kojima's such a genius, like they're losing such a thing, I'm like, I don't know. Kojima's always talked big for the last decade about, oh, if only I was able to have complete creative control, and only if I had all this, and only I had this. Well, great, good on you. You got your own studio, you got to pick your own team, you got so many sponsorships, you got such a huge budget, money was not an object, you got all the time in the world. So, what's the game you gave us? You gave us Death Stranding, a glorified demo for an actual game concept, what I suspect. Wow, good job. Genius at work. Have a good one, Gino. Thanks for hanging out. You recall some people stating that reviews were embellished for Death Stranding just because it was a Kojima game? Oh, absolutely. The politics were hot with that game. What else am I supposed to be doing here? I beat Hartman. Is that the end of the DLC? That can't be. Oh, maybe it is. Other than these side things, which are just collectible things, I think that's it for the DLC. Interesting. So, what do we think of this DLC? I think DLC was okay. I think the first one was a little bit better, a bit more expansive. This one had a lot of content, but the side quests weren't as interesting. The idea of adding an option to fight all previous bosses for bonus loot is cool, but what's the point of collecting loot when you're not collecting loot towards anything? Boss rushes also don't personally excite me. And the link to Alan Wake was surprisingly weak. I was expecting a little bit more of an epic team-up, personally. Like, I feel it was average. Like, this was average. It wasn't bad. But I think it was just okay. No, Control in general is overall still very good. Control is a very good game, and even when you add the DLCs on top of it, if you can get it bundled together for like whatever that Ultimate Edition is, if you're playing that Ultimate Edition, you're playing a great game with more stuff on top of it. I think the first expansion is way bigger and way better than this one, but this one's not bad. This one's just okay. I don't think it's the best way to leave on this note, but we also have to consider that at this time, I think Epic bought over Remedy, so I don't know how long ago that deal was in the works before they made it public, but maybe they're just wrapping up Control. Because this is the suit I always like to wear. This is the default suit I like to wear. I think it looks cool. I like how it flows. It looks like a robe. I think her hair looks better down in general. But yeah, this is good.
Man, I never thought I'd be working in the executive sector. Look at me now, Ma.
I don't know if they're ever going to do a sequel to Control. If they just keep tying together their elements like this, then I'm okay with it. I wonder if they intended to tie this to Quantum Break.
I'll see you later.
If they wanted to make like a pseudo universe going, where like Alan Wake and Control are tied, sure. But is this and Quantum Break also tied? I wonder. Control. Excellent game. If you have not already played it, I thoroughly recommend it. If there are any Black Friday sales for it and you see it, go ahead and grab it. I know they have the Ultimate Edition for next gen that's ported. If you haven't played it before, play it on your new gen system. If you haven't, it's not crashing all the time on you. Shadows, I don't think Konami was nearly as bad as Kojima says, but I do think the fact that over half of Kojima production employees defected from Konami says something. Sure. I also think that Kojima had a little bit of an ego. A little bit of an ego, I say. And he had his own fan club. But yeah, I think he was exaggerating. I'm sure there was an actual strife there, but I don't think we're ever going to hear the actual full story from anybody. I don't think even Jeff Keighley knows the full story. He's just there to support Kojima. Death Stranding was boring. Death Stranding was not interesting. And the people who wanted to read into it, who viewed it as some sort of like hidden genius, man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't agree with your assertion. I think people can read too deep into a lot of things, and the writing in Death Stranding was not particularly clever or interesting. The gameplay certainly wasn't particularly clever or interesting, that's for sure. The most amount of fun I had playing Death Stranding was in the mountains with the zip lines, because I got to create my own subway network of zip lines. So anything in the mountains, I was able to get from point A to point B so fast, within 2 minutes across the entire mountain range. I can go north, south, east, west, didn't matter. That entire section of the map was a actual transit network I built on zip lines. I don't know if any of those zip lines are still around to this day, but if they are, I hope so, because I made the most optimized pathing for those zip lines. And the best part of that game was skipping playing part of that game. That is so sad. Okay, Control in next gen or PC, enjoy all the ray tracing? Sure. This game was good enough without the ray tracing. Ray tracing would help, but it didn't make the game. I've heard someone call it Truck Driver with a plot. Hard to say it had a plot. It just... I think the most apt review of Death Stranding I've seen was Video Game Donkey's version of it. Like, he hit the nail on the head for every point I wanted to say. He said it so concisely. So I just say watch his video on it. He said everything I said about it. If you wanted to hear what I said about it, it's going to be kind of hard because the VOD that I posted, Twitch muted it and YouTube muted it because they used all that licensed music in it. So it auto-muted portions of what I was talking about. So I normally talk during the credits of a game and give my thoughts, my reactions, my reviews. But both Twitch and YouTube muted a large part of that. So I don't have the original complete transcript. And I'm like, God effing damn it. That's so annoying. So, in short, I didn't care for it. I think it is the way I described it. I described it in one sentence to somebody. I think it's the best way I can describe it. It is highly polished monotony. It is very highly polished monotony. That is that game. I also had a friend when I was streaming, I was playing it, and he's like, "Oh, you're about to hit the credits," and I did start the credits, but the credits is 4 hours long. I'm like, oh my god, this game, it just doesn't end. I can't think of a point where the game ever got interesting either. Like, everything you saw in the trailers was the best part of the game. Everything. They showed all the interesting parts during the trailers. Death Stranding is the only game I've ever cared to platinum. In my opinion, it's the best game ever made. It's my favorite, at least. No problem. I appreciate you speaking up for it, Anagram. I don't think it's the worst game ever made. I don't think it's anything as extreme as that. And if it's your favorite game, I can't argue against that. If it's the best game, that's debatable. But if it's your favorite game, nobody can argue that because it's all about you. If you loved it, if you platinumed it, absolutely. Some people found a zen chill to it. Some people spent like 150, 300 hours into it. There were people that kept playing it. They were hypnotized in that ability of moving boxes from point A to point B. The type of thing you would do if you were to move one pile of sand to another side of the room using just tweezers. There's something calming about that, I suppose. I have the giant baby fetus version of Death Stranding. And it's one of those things where it's like, what the heck do you do with this giant baby fetus? Just put on a coffee table, it's a conversation point. It's like, oh yes, I see you've noticed my my baby fetus. There are certainly people that it brings up to the philosophy of every game is somebody's first game, and every game is somebody's favorite game. We must always remember that. That's why I always feel that no game is ever without flaw, and no game is ever irredeemable. I think what did I give Death Stranding in my quick review thing? What did I do? What did I give it? I think I gave it a C or a C minus or something like that. Which is average. You know, on my scale, that's not a bad thing. I didn't consider it at any point below average. Everything it did was okay. Were there some things I felt could have been better? Sure. Was it highly repetitive? Sure. But sometimes that's just somebody's definition of fun. I don't know why I'm talking so much about Death Stranding right now. I will say this though, an anagram, don't take this the wrong way. If you're not trolling in what you just said, where you think it's your favorite game. If you honestly do believe that, more power to you. I will also, please don't ever take it the hard way or take it personally that I will never miss any opportunity to make fun of Death Stranding. I think I've had more fun making fun of the game than not. And not because, again, I feel any ill will towards it. I don't hate the game. Just want to affirm that I don't hate the game. I just think it's very memeable. There's so many memes that have come out of Death Stranding, and it's hilarious for that effect to me. So to me, it is an excellent meme generator. There have been so many memes that come out that are all so good. So many good memes have come out of Death Stranding. So to me, I love laughing to the game. I'm not laughing at the game. I'm laughing to the game. If we can take it that way. The soundtrack to me, Shadows, when you bring up like best part of Death Stranding was the soundtrack. It won Soundtrack of the Year, if I'm not mistaken. Or at least it was nominated. I disagree. Or at least for my playthrough, there were so few times where music actually occurred. It just seemed random. There were so many times where it was just absolutely dead silent, except for the crunching of your footsteps. There was no music playing. And I was like, how do you get music to play in this game? Like, you can stop and play music in a menu, but how do you can you not put in like a playlist and it just plays while you walk? If that was a feature, then great. If that's something you have to unlock later, then that's lame. It had a good shotgun. That's a compliment I can give it. It had a good shotgun. Now trolling, it truly is my favorite game ever, and I started gaming in the early 90s. You don't have to defend it. It's cool. Oh, actually, Anagram, that's something that you brought up that I do want to add to my notes on It's Debatable, is people who pre-qualify their statement. Where it's like one of those reaction videos, like Real Doctor reacts to, I don't know, Dr. Stone or something like that. Where they just have people who feel pre-qualified to follow out their statement. Where it's like, I've been gaming since the 80s, and I think this video game is not good. As if somehow your gamer cred validates the statement of whatever it is you're about to say. You bring up a good thing that I want to bring. How do I define that, though? I wonder what kind of deck that is. The pre-qualifying statement. That strikes me as a green deck thing. Because green deck people believe might makes right. And so either a crowd of people or authority figures can validate whatever justification you have, where it's like, oh, this person said it, and they're a top whatever. They have a world record on the amount of Cheetos eaten during a chess match. So this guy knows what he's talking about. I mean, do you have a world record? No. So this guy has more cred than you. My sister's a green deck player. My sister constantly likes to back up her arguments. My eldest sister, by the way. My middle sister is probably a red deck. She likes screaming. Screaming as her main operator. But my eldest sister is definitely green deck player. She likes to just supply all of her arguments with, oh, well, this statistic says this, and this crowd of people says this, and all these other smart people said this, so they can't possibly be wrong. I'm like, they're still human. They can be wrong. Statistics can be flipped. People can be bought. People can misunderstand stuff. People can be wrong. It doesn't matter. You don't, just because you have a degree or a title or some like version of status in your head, you are never immune from being wrong. So yeah. It's like Animal Crossing this year. If Animal Crossing wins Game of the Year... Speaking of which, what do you guys think of the Game of the Year candidates? I don't know how many of you guys follow. I feel like on the Discord, I'm the only person who cares about this sort of stuff. If Shadows was there... Shadows knows that I love talking about game industry stuff on the job all the time. I constantly talk about it. I'm constantly tuned in. I'm listening to it all the time. But man, nobody on the Discord wants to talk about the game industry stuff. You're the type of person who's played 4,000 hours in Dark Souls 3? Oof, that is commitment. I cannot marry a game for that long. I'm not the marrying type when it comes to game. That's just, I'm married to my career with games. I just jump from port to port with these games. As soon as I pick one up, I put another one down. If Animal Crossing wins, I wouldn't be mad. Even though I have not put one second into that game, and I'm probably never going to. Unless they release a lot of Zelda content, and then I'll just buy it by obligation. But, yeah. I would be okay with that. My personal vote for best game of the year would be Final Fantasy Remake. I think it's of the criteria that I care about, it's the best one of it. Remake is an interesting thing though. Like, there are a lot of things I don't like about it, and I don't think it did very well. And that was all that I already said in my review. And there's a lot of stuff I made fun of it in my review. People did not like that. People don't imagine that. People who love Final Fantasy don't like me making fun of Final Fantasy. But joking aside, yeah, it would definitely be my vote. I think best RPG should go to Persona 5 Royal though. If it goes to Genshin Impact, I'm gonna be so effing mad. You'll just be happy if it's not Last of Us. Among Us should not be eligible because it came out 2018, yet it's being nominated for something. It should be nominated for Best Ongoing Game. That's a category that I think it perfectly qualifies for. But I think because it debuted on mobile this year, it's being nominated for Best Mobile Game, I think. I know it's been nominated for Best Mobile Game. I don't think it's been nominated for all that much, though. I think it's only been nominated for Best Mobile. It hasn't been nominated for pretty much anything else, I think. Pretty sure the only Final Fantasy you can make fun of to fans of this Final Fantasy Series 13. If that's the only one that I can, then I really question their love of the series. I think I'm one of the rare people that loves all Final Fantasies. I can make fun of any Final Fantasy, and I can love every Final Fantasy. Some are harder than others. Like, I hate the Saga skill building. I hate the Saga combat system that 2 does. I hate it. But there are a lot of things I like about it, like it has my favorite character in the entire series. I personally, and this is no offense to people who love The Last of Us, I also really enjoyed The Last of Us Part 2. I really had fun with it during parts of it. Again, if you were here during that live play, you saw it right there. No fake whatevers. However, there is one thing I love more in that particular, when it comes to Last of Us. The thing I love the most about The Last of Us, about both games, about the entire series, the thing I absolutely love the most is prodding the fan base and getting a laugh out of it. I love throwing rocks at that hornet's nest. I love it. It's so funny. They are so volatile. All you have to do is just poke them and they just go off like a firework. It's hilarious. The instigator in me just cannot resist. For example, I love telling the people that are very passionate about it, I really want Last of Us Part 2 to win every single category it's nominated for except Game of the Year, because in doing so it'll annoy both sides of that camp. The people that hate that game are going to hate that it won every single other category, and the people that love that game are going to hate that it won every other category except Game of the Year. Both sides will be upset, and I'm just going to laugh. And I laugh at just how absurd people can get. It's a toxic fan base for the large part of it. I think even the Reddit's still considered a biohazard. That they're trying to figure out how to wrap in concrete and bury underneath the Earth's crust. It's so incredibly toxic. And for that reason, I love laughing at it. Not at any one person, but just the general sour attitude. It's so funny. It's so self-fueling. I love laughing at it. But if that happens, if Last of Us wins every possible award and doesn't win the Game of the Year, I just be like, oh, that is so good. That is such a good way to end the month. Actually, no, it begins December 10th, I believe. I would love that. Sometimes, Jax, you have to be the villain to do the right thing. Average viewer, what's your favorite Final Fantasy II character? Actually, my favorite character for Final Fantasy in general is Minwu. When people ask, like, who's your favorite Final Fantasy character? I say Minwu, and they're like, who? Like, Minwu. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were a Final Fantasy fan. I love doing that, making fun of the gating. People who gatekeep games are such assholes. That's a very... What gatekeeper... What would gatekeeping be? What kind of strategy would gatekeeping be? Is that green? I feel green would be... Yeah, Umbra does not like Persona 5. She's made that very clear. Doesn't like the characters. I like Persona 5. I think it's the best one. But, let's see. I really just don't want Genshin Impact to win. Personally. Oh, Among Us came out on mobile in 2018 as well? I didn't know that. Spiritfarer is another game that actually I want to play. In fact, I think it's on Game Pass. I think Spiritfarer is on Game Pass. Sea of Solitude I heard was good too. Yeah, that's Spiritfarer. Man, we should probably play Spiritfarer. So here's the thing I like to do. I call it my backlog battlefields. Anytime a game is... I like how this description, it just has the word cozy in it. What the hell? Spiritfarer is a cozy management game about dying. As ferrymaster to the deceased, build a boat to explore the world, care for your spirit friends, and guide them across mystical seas to finally release them into the afterlife. I like to play any games that got nominated for whatever. That's why the next game I want to play, since we just finished this, we'll probably start on Tuesday, is going to be 13 Sentinels. Because 13 Sentinels just came out like last month. And it's one of those RPGs where I'm like, okay, it's Vanillaware, it's probably going to have beautiful visuals, really good gameplay, okay story, and then I'll just play it later. I picked up the Day 1 edition because it was limited and put it away. I wasn't in a rush to play it. But then I see 13 Sentinels gets nominated for Story of the Year. I'm like, excuse me? I haven't heard anybody talk about the story until now. And Vanillaware isn't known for their amazing story writing. But you're telling me all of a sudden they knocked it out of the park with Story of the Year? Really? Huh. Okay, you never heard of it? You never heard of Vanillaware? You never heard of 13 Sentinels? Because Vanillaware did stuff like Odin Sphere is a really popular one. Dragon's Crown. There's one that begins with an M. It's escaping me. Mura something. And of course 13 Sentinels recently. Highly replayable games too. They're one of those games that you don't just play once. This game is small, 6 gigabytes. Take that, Call of Duty. Oh, Sentinels. Muramasa, thank you. Thank you. But yeah, like, when I heard that, I was like, now I have to play this. I have to play any of the games that won for best narration. Or not even won, just nominated. That's why I played, Plague Tale Innocence recently, because not only was that nominated for Best Indie Game last year, but it also was nominated for Best Story. And I was like, that's interesting, an indie game being nominated for Best Story. I'm game. Let's check it out. And that game is excellent. That game's a solid B in my book. I gave it a solid B, which is very high, by the way. To me, if you're anywhere in the B, even the B minus, you're a cut above the average. You have separated yourself from the chaff. You may not be on that level of excellence that deserves global attention, but you are very good in your field. If you're playing anything that's a B, you're playing a very good well-received game. For different reasons, not just one or two reasons, or like, oh, I like this game, it's not very good, but it's charming. No, this thing is above average and for multiple reasons. That's a B. That's why Final Fantasy Remake was a B in my book. If I wasn't so strapped for time, I would have loved to knock out Hades. I picked it up earlier with every intention of playing it early, and it just kept getting pushed off. I hear that game is arguably going to be Indie Game of the Year. Has anybody here played Hades? I want to see if it's true. I want to see if it's a game that can win an A from me. Because I've yet to see a game that I played this year that came out this year that was an A. An A game. I have not played an A game all year that came out this year. I played some A games, but they were for recap. I have not played an A game this year. So I'm up for suggestion, you know. Hades might be it. I don't, you know, I'm not going to put any biases on it. If it's not it, it's not it. If Final Fantasy VII Remake was an actually complete game, it would have been an A. If it continued that quality, it would have been easy A. Easy A. But it's not. It will, like, I gave it the best possible score I could for a B, because it's only one part. It's not a self-contained story. It leaves so much hanging that cannot be ignored. And you can't treat one part as like the one part it is, even if it's the best part of however many parts they're going to make, it will never be the best part in general. It's not going to be better than the whole. So because of that, if the whole is an A, great, but that can never be, it can never be an A. I already knew that going into it. It's never going to be an A because it's just one part. It's not a standalone game. Oh, but you can play it as a standalone game, sure, and you can just watch The Empire Strikes Back and not watch any of the other 8 episodes of Star Wars, and you could probably have a good time. But that's not the point. But yeah, we'll put Spiritfarer. We'll load it. I'll install it. I'll keep it on the hard drive. But next we're gonna play as 13 Sentinels. Gonna play it on my PS4 because I do not have a PS5. But I'm sure it looks just as good. I'm not worried about it. So don't mind me playing on my last gen hardware. You know, no judging. Somewhere on a playground, there is a child that legitimately thinks because they have a video game console and another kid doesn't, they think that makes them better. There is a child somewhere that believes that. That child is dumb. And we can only hope that in time they realize that. Man, I don't know where I got off on this weird tangent. Welcome to the post-game rants by Oni Black Mage. If you are not used to this, I enjoy rambling about things once I'm done with the game that starts focused on the discussion and then drifts off in whatever stream of consciousness thought that comes to my mind. Anyway, Control, good game. 13 Sentinels, we'll see. We'll see if you I'm going to be very harsh on it, like I am on every game. That game needs to impress if it's going to be nominated for Best Story of the Year. What are the other Best Story of the Year nominees? Don't mind my clacky keyboard. Ghost of Tsushima, I forgot about. I keep forgetting about that game. I can't care enough. Like, a game can't make me care. As much as I love Assassin's Creed, as much as I love like pseudo fantasy feudal era Japan stuff, like it looks like it has all the ingredients of a game I would love, and yet at the same time I look at Ghost of Tsushima and I don't look interested, and I can't tell you what it is. I still can't believe Last of Us Part 2 was nominated for Best Music. What the F is going on with this world? I like how... Oh, sorry. I thought for a second Fall Guys was nominated for Best Community Esport, but it was Best Community Support. But I read that as Esport for a second. I'm like, Fall Guys is an Esport? I mean, it's big profile enough that all the big streamers like hacking in it. Because Lord knows you want to be a MLG Fall Guys player. I don't know why we have Best Fighting Game category. Fighting games don't come out necessarily annually. Most of them are just updates. I feel like that's just an obligation. Okay, yeah, you're right. Among Us is nominated for Best Multiplayer. I feel through popularity it's going to win, which I disagree with. I don't know, it's very sketch. Because, yeah, like, Fall Guys was it just early access before and now it's out of early access? Is that what's going on? Final Fantasy VII, I not only paid full price, I paid for the expensive edition. The version that came with Cloud on the bike. I still have it sealed. Because they were cool when they mailed to you. They mail that figure separately. And I just don't want to open it because it's too cool. And I did it not thinking that I was going to like the game. I didn't think I was going to like that game going in. And that's probably because Final Fantasy VII is not high at all on my favorite Final Fantasies list. It's actually kind of on the lower middle side. I think I can name 10 games I'd rather play than Final Fantasy VII from the Final Fantasy franchise. That franchise is so huge. And to me, if there's no offense, there's a lot of people who think that like their favorite one, the best one, but if that's your standard for the best, then I don't think you have very high standards. Sorry, not sorry. Why am I not finding best story in here? Why am I just failing? I see best content creator, that's useless. Where's best story? There it is, best narrative. I was right at the top. Alright, so yeah, 13 Sentinels, Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I'm not going to give it to. I'm not giving that. That game has a good story. That game has great dialogue and character development. That game has good presentation. That game's writing needs work. Ghost of Tsushima, we'll see. Hades, again, makes me curious. Last of Us Part 2, divisive. I will say this, though. Module Cell, thank you so much for that donation tip. I'm just going to call it a tip, because it's basically what it is. I'm not a charity. But I do appreciate you. Thank you very much. You even put a message out for me to say. So I'm just going to shout out that you're a cool guy. Thank you, Module Cell. Thank you for being a cool guy. It wasn't early access, full release was June 2018. Well, in that case, I have no idea what the heck it's on there. I think we just call it shenanigans on Among Us then. You'll take Final Fantasy IX for my cold dead hands there? Nah, Final Fantasy IX I rate pretty high. I actually rate the narrative structure of Last of Us 2 very highly. Doesn't matter what you think of the story. Doesn't matter what you think of the characters. The way that story was developed and the way it chose to be told, yes, it would have been better in chronological order like I did my recap. But the theming that it went with, and I'm not talking about violence is bad, war is hell, pooping is hard. I'm not talking about any of that crap. The impression, the takeaway that I got of it being a very modern day telling of an Elizabethan tragedy story, and I justified that with all these beats where I'm like, this fits this to a T. It's it's Hamlet, like I said, like this is just a modern day Hamlet, and you don't see that every day. You don't see people take on the tragic category, and a lot of people are like, I'm upset and I'm sad. I'm like, then that means this game succeeded. Because you're not supposed to be happy at the end of a tragedy. You're supposed to feel bad. You're supposed to feel mad. You're supposed to feel sad. And you're supposed to absorb whatever overall message it was trying to convey to you. Such as, don't have a one-night fling and kill yourself over it. AKA Romeo and Juliet. Things like that. Or the beauty of love is fleeting. However deep you want to read into it. The fact that it created such a splash with itself is impressive on its own. And the way it was able to accomplish that, good or bad, because either one is a reaction. Either one's an emotion. You can talk about whatever emotions the first one started in you. The second one also got emotions out of you. It may not be the emotions you wanted. It may not have been the emotions you asked for. But it certainly got an emotion out of you. And that you can't deny. And that level of impact has to be rewarded or recognized at the very least. And no, Joel should not be in Smash Brothers. Stop that. That's ridiculous. I don't like eating on stream, but I do like drinking. Water, that is. Non-alcoholic. Okay, I think I stalled enough time to call it 3 hours. Anybody have any final thoughts, any comments, any questions before we wrap it up for tonight? And we pick up Tuesday with 13 Sentinels. Last of Us Part 2 is the best story Naughty Dog has written. That I will actually agree with you there. Naughty Dog is not known for very good or very original writing. Their writing is very boring, very predictable, and very stereotyped. Last of Us Part 2 shook it up to such a violent degree that the fan base was shaken. And that, to me, is a gold star. You don't have to like the story, but you can't deny its impact. Joel is in 4 Smash Brothers. Nice. Alright. Thank you guys for really coming in and hanging. Even the people that are just lurking or having us play in the background. I appreciate you too. Just being real, I was very nervous going into a lot of this past week, last couple days. And I have to say, the last couple of streams, just hanging out and talking to a lot of different people, some new, some old, some revisiting, and lifted my moods. I feel better. I didn't think that was going to happen. I'm very pessimistic on a lot of things. And this is one thing I am very glad to have been wrong on, that just taking action on this curbed a lot of my fear. A little bit of anxiety. So, I appreciate it. I appreciate him coming and hanging out. Thank you, everybody. Everybody's super cool. Keep it up. I'm Oni Black Mage. We'll pick this up on Tuesday. Have a good night, and I'll see you in the next Battlefield.